The Red Bull drama has now moved to Verstappen, as it looks like the four-time world champion is going to be looking for a new team sooner rather than later, with everything that's happening with how they're building the car and also the fights happening inside the team that showed the weak parts of the team. Can Verstappen finally take on a new challenge in his career, and if so, how does Mercedes fit into this story? Even though Wolff gives careful answers about this topic, there's no doubt that Max Verstappen's future in Red Bull is not certain at all, and whether or not a shocking move is coming depends a lot on how the Austrian team is going to move forward with building their car. It's not a secret that Red Bull had a really hard time with the RB20, and the RB21 doesn't make us feel confident either. So with Jos Verstappen already saying his worries that his son won't stay with the team if the car doesn't win races, the truth is happening right in front of us. Red Bull has been getting all the attention ever since 2025 started, but for all the bad reasons. One of them is the switching of drivers after just 2 races, making it the shortest time any Red Bull driver ever stayed with Lawson. Reports have said that Max is very unhappy with the move that his team has made and did tell them about these worries in the meeting in Dubai, but Red Bull has chosen to not change their decision to put Tsunoda next to Max. The reason why Verstappen is worried is not because he's scared Tsunoda can drive better than him, but because the engineers are not paying enough attention to making the car better, and the real problem as they would rather look for a second driver who would have to magically find speed out of that car. This is something that's been confirmed by Helmut Marko, who's gone on to say, "We know Max is not happy, but we need 2 cars at the front, not only for the team championship but also to help Max get his 5th world title." It's funny to see that we're expecting a completely different Yuki this year. He has made no mistakes in the first weeks, he's fast, he has new management and is full of confidence, but there have been rumors going around that Max is actually worried about Yuki's career because of the chance he's just been given at Red Bull. After all that waiting, the Japanese driver will have a chance to prove himself as the best driver that sat next to Max after Ricciardo, but there might be a chance where Max will no longer be part of the team because of all the trouble that's hurting the team right now. For starters, the car's development, which will likely put the team out of the competition in both championships, might carry over to 2026 as well. Even though we have new rules coming, Red Bull are not very confident that they can be the leaders here. And what's even worse for them is that even if the delay of the 2026 rules happens, they will be stuck with what they have right now. The team has lost a lot of important stuff, and even Marko has gone on to say that not having Newey is hurting the team for a long time, whether everyone in the group wants to admit that or not. Talking more about this and how important Adrian was to the team's core, Marko said, "Of course we're missing a man like that, and Newey is a Newey, but we are a team of almost 1,000 people. The crew behind him was built up slowly. It is true that the RB21 is hard to drive, the Racing Bull is easier to handle and very fast on a qualifying lap, but in the race it falls significantly behind the Red Bull racing car." The fact that Marko has gone on to compare how well these 2 cars perform, even if it was just to explain why Lawson was demoted, goes to show that Red Bull does have some serious problems to fix ahead of them, and with Max being at the center of this because of his amazing performance that's always keeping everyone on the track worried, the situation will likely move towards the 4th world champion looking for a new home. There are 2 teams out there that Max would possibly see as the next challenge for him, and they are Aston Martin and Mercedes. Yes, so far he's committed to Red Bull, and he did say that in public, but we know how fast things can change if he sees that the team can't fix the problems and build a championship winning car. Let's remember one very important thing: Max promised to help the team fix the car's behavior. He didn't promise to stay with them if they failed to do so. We know for sure that the statements of Zak Brown shouldn't be taken very seriously, because all he does is throw shade towards Red Bull and try to start a fight where there is a chance to do so and make the situation in their rivals' camp even more unstable. However, this one might be well supported, as the boss of the McLaren team has gone on to talk about how Max won't be part of Red Bull as early as next year, with the next likely place being Mercedes. Talking more about this, Brown said, "Oh, I think Max will leave at the end of this year, most likely to Mercedes. There's been talks of Aston Martin too, with Adrian Newey joining, but as great as Adrian is, and he is the greatest ever, you need a whole team around. You need the culture, and that takes time. If I were betting, I'd bet on Mercedes. In the last 10 years, they have won the championship 7 or 8 times. Last year they won 5 races. They have stability, and we know Toto likes him, and I think we all feel the high-performance powertrains is best prepared on the power unit side heading into the new engine rules next year. Plus, Russell is out of contract at the end of this season, and Antonelli will be on a series of 1-year contracts." And this statement of Brown showed one very important thing: the advantage that Mercedes holds in their hands when it comes to a possible Verstappen signing the engine 2026 is going to be all about engines, and Mercedes and Ferrari are the leaders in this area. So if the plan to push these back to 2028 and bring the V10s on sustainable fuel gets delayed, then Verstappen is very likely to have yet another conversation with Wolff about making this deal happen. We do know that Jos and Toto are very close as well, and now that Hamilton is out of the picture, the unfair opinions can be thrown out the window and a brand new conversation can be started between Verstappen's team and the Brackley-based group. This does put a lot of pressure on both Max and Mercedes when it comes to proving that they have what it takes in order to make this relationship happen, especially if you think about that. Wolff was flirting with the idea not that long ago. Of course, the situation has changed a lot since then. And now the Austrian is determined that he wouldn't change the current lineup for anything in the world, saying that it's an open secret to keep both Russell and Antonelli headed into the 2026 rules. We've seen some amazing performances from Russell, and the Italian rookie has been excellent as well, and whether we like it or not, it does seem like Mercedes is the second strongest team on the track right now. When talking about the chance of bringing Verstappen to Mercedes or committing to the drivers, Wolff, as now the Austrian, has given a very careful response, saying it's almost an open secret that we want to keep our drivers for the long term. We don't make every discussion we have with the drivers public, and that's why this is going in the direction it should be going. But such a contract is more than just giving the driver the promise that he'll be in the car. There are conditions that you have to discuss in the interest of the team and the driver, so it's a structured process. I don't really think that either Russell or Antonelli has a bigger interest for Mercedes compared to Max, and regardless of Wolff's statements, we do know how he felt about the four-time world champion not that long ago. Even in the series Drive to Survive, we saw that Verstappen was the first person he reached out to when Hamilton's shocking news dropped on the team, and while he might see a lot of potential in the lineup he has right now, there's absolutely no chance that he would pass up the opportunity to sign a driver like Verstappen if it's being presented to him. All of this goes to show that the new rules are holding a lot more answers than we could possibly imagine, and while many of them will be focused on the ranking order in Formula One, there will be a lot of drivers' futures being solved as well. So far it seems like Verstappen is the leader in this conversation, and that the four-time world champion will be quite open with Red Bull when it comes to his future. With all of this in mind, do you think Verstappen would be the best fit for Mercedes? And if not, where do you think we'll see him drive from 2026 onwards? Let us know in the comments below. And once you do that, make sure to click on the video that's appearing on your screen right now.